So I consider ourselves a large firm, close to the top 100 in terms of size, with an abundance of resources. But I think we still have that smaller firm feel in many of the offices, responsiveness, and client service, less of a corporate rigid structure and more of a smaller partnership where everyone really knows everybody else in the offices. We do have a full complement of services, mostly audit, but certainly a tax group that works with our not-for-profit clients, our commercial clients as well. We have a compliance auditing department. And we also have what we call our accounting department, which is basically organizations that do not want to do the accounting themselves. And sometimes we can't do this for audit clients, but we are either their CFO, or if they want us, to come in every day and write checks and make deposits, we do that as well. But we have seen that a lot of our not-for-profits with the smaller, maybe $1 to $10 million budgets, really want to focus on their mission and their objectives and what they're in business for, and they don't want to deal with a lot of the administrative things. So over the last 10 years or so, that AFS department has really exploded and gotten very large. And some people decided to move from audit to AFS or vice versa. But I think all those things have led to success. Be good at identifying when I need to roll up my sleeves and really get into details, and other times to delegate to individuals and let other team members run with it and just come to me as needed. I think my style is also collaborative. We have a management committee that consists of 4 partners in total, and we meet often on both internal issues, operational issues, and client issues. So the management committee, as well as all the 23 partners in the firm, are critical in helping me govern the firm. I talk with the partners about my vision for the firm and help guide them that way, but it's collectively that we decide on both short-term and long-term strategic plans, and then it's my job to ensure that we meet those goals.
Julie Kirsch, and I'm the Director of Training and Development at Calibre CPA Group. And essentially, I'm responsible for designing, developing, and executing our learning programs, our training and professional development, as well as our coaching and mentoring for career development related programs. And that includes things like managing our compliance for continuing professional education for our professionals, not only our CPAs, but all of our employees. So that includes things like having an online library, our learning management system, identifying what the needs are, putting together a strategy for all of the different departments in our organization, and making sure that we meet the standard requirements, if not exceed them. And we do this on an annual basis. We are constantly working to improve the quality and efficiency of the learning program so that we can continue developing skills in our people. You know, when we bring interns on, they are people that really truly have an interest in learning more about our firm and our people and the work that we do. And so I find that they are great students, you know, and they're used to learning because they're still in school. So it's really nice to have a group of people that are interested and currently learning and currently in the classroom. It's also just really a fun group of people to work with. They, you know, will participate in some goofy, fun games and activities that we come up with. They will take constructive feedback very quickly and see how easy it is to implement it right away. For example, in our internship program this year, it was a totally virtual program, so they had to have client work and job experience virtually, and they had to do sample work, submit it, and receive it, and kind of process through it, go through it themselves, and then get feedback. And we saw from the time that they were given an assignment, taught how to do that assignment, and at the end of the program, dramatic change, great results, a lot of improvement. So it's really exciting to see in such a short turnaround time, you know, in whether it's a 2-week intern program or a regular 8-week long intern program, we get to see what our interns look like walking in the door, and we get a really great sense of what they're going to be like to work with at the end of that program. And so it's not just them getting a sense of do they fit in with our culture, but we get to see this great new crop of people and how they're going to work with us and how they're going to be if they're a Calibre employee. I would say, you know, getting involved in the internship program, because there's so many different elements that we want to pack in such a short period of time, we get to really throw at them so many different things. So we do community service. We have shadowing experiences. We have work experience. We have a virtual escape room activity. We have networking events, social hours in the evening. So back to the interns, like they are that really perfect mold of a certain period in time where we get to see and test out a lot of stuff. So I would say the whole intern program altogether is great. I also really enjoy leadership training. I've been doing it for, 20 something years. I really like understanding what people want, what they need, how they need to improve their performance at work. And I like working with leaders and managers to say, what do we need to do to improve this person's performance? And then seeing it come to fruition. And so client service excellence is a course we've been offering over the last 2 years that we really like. I like the materials, I like updating them, changing them, and I definitely like teaching it because there's a lot of activities and interaction that takes place in that course.
So one of the things that I really love seeing is the light bulb go off for one of our new staff where something just wasn't clicking when we were in the classroom teaching them. Maybe it was how to audit AP or how to audit fixed assets. And then they get out into the field and they've worked on it a couple of times and all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and they're just like, oh my gosh, Mary Margaret, I finally understand it. I realized what you were saying in class. This is how it applies in the real world. you can teach people how to audit in the classroom, but it's not until they get out into the field that they really can get a true understanding of, what the source documentation is going to look like, what it means when they see, this document, what it means when they see another document, how clients are going to answer questions that they ask, how knowledgeable the client is about actually accounting, because in the nonprofit space, we work with CPAs at some of our larger nonprofits, but then we work with kind of more bookkeeper types that, didn't study accounting. They just learned how to do it as they've been doing their job. And so they're not as knowledgeable about how to do debits and credits. They rely a lot on their general ledger system to kind of help them get things in the right place. But seeing that light bulb go off for a staff person when they truly understand something is just truly a rewarding part of my job. I just opened up, my phone this morning, and I saw an email from someone we just promoted from staff to senior. Of course, she is a rock star, but I was just so impressed with the way that she crafted her email to send to a client. It was, so I felt like above, where she is in her part of her career as being a senior. It almost sounded like an email that I would expect to come from a manager. And I was just so impressed with the fact that she was able to put something together that so eloquently explained the question that she was asking and the point that I had conveyed to her that she was trying to answer as one of my review comments on the job. So seeing those types of things really bring me a lot of joy, because it tells me that we're doing something right here at Calibre. We're teaching our staff how to audit, how to interact with clients, how to better themselves in their job. And that means a lot to me, because that's a big part of the reason why I participate in those activities for the firm. So WIN is a group that we put together about 3 or 4 years ago, and it stands for the Women's Initiative Network of Calibre CPA Group. And about 2 years into being a partner, I was talking to several of my other female partners, and we were just out for dinner one night and just kind of conversing naturally. And something came up about, going to a board meeting and maybe being the only female that's in the room. Or an experience we may have had at a client or something like that. And we were one of the only females that was kind of working on the audit. And so we just started kind of talking, and we're like, there might be an opportunity here for us to start something for Calibre. Maybe we could, we have about over 50% of our workforce is actually women. And while we're trying to increase the number that are in like the top leadership positions of like partner and director and principal, we're still not at 50%. So we've got a smaller amount of people in those higher leadership positions that are trying to guide females in their workplace environment. And so we thought, we've got an opportunity here. We can put together this group of women and provide a lot of different educational events for them, as well as networking events. And then we also decided that we wanted to have some community involvement as well. So we put together WIN, and it has evolved quite substantially since we put it together. But it basically has 3 concepts. So we want to provide networking opportunities for women so that we can connect with each other within the firm at a specified designed event for us. It provides educational opportunities. We've had someone come in and teach us self-defense skills. We've had someone come in and teach us how to better our LinkedIn profile. We've had another group of women that came in and talked to us about how they eventually got their seat at the table and the types of conversations that they have now that they're at the table. And when I talk about the table, I'm talking about the boardroom table, where they might be one of the only women in the room of some pretty significant leaders. And so we've had those events, and our female staff have just really clinged to it. They really like it, and they've been able to come, ask questions, network with other people, and then network with other women at the firm. And then the final thing that we wanted to do was to provide some community involvement. So every year we have designed at least one, sometimes 2, opportunities for the women of Calibre to kind of give back to our community organizations in the DC area, in the New York area, Chicago, and also LA, since we have 4 offices around the country.
One specific character trait that you should have is an organization skills. Public accounting is very fast paced and you're exposed to various things at a time. So being organized is very important. Another skill I would say you should have is people skills. Although we're working with numbers, there are people who create those numbers. So just creating a relationship with your clients makes it easier for you.
What do you think makes Calibre different from your previous workplaces?
Calibre is different for me because I get that hands-on experience. I get that collaboratory chance. I get a chance to collaborate with my managers, seniors, just hands-on experience and hands-on knowledge.
How would you describe Calibre's company culture?
If I could describe it in one word, I would say challenging, and in a positive way, of course. Just being able to learn so much from my manager, my senior, even staff. There might be a case on the staff level where a staff might have seen something that I haven't seen, so I can learn from my peers. Just learning so much. I feel like every day, every week, I learn something new.
Calibre has like a small culture, so it's more personable. I can have one-on-one talks with anyone from an intern that we have, staff level, all the way up to partners. I can sit on the phone with them for 45 minutes and just talk about anything. So bigger companies that I've experienced in the past, you don't have that conversation with people that are really making decisions and really kind of directing where your choices are going and the direction of the company. Like, even me as like a supervising senior, I say things and they actually get relayed up and they're heard. So having that kind of in your back pocket here is pretty valuable.
Can you describe Calibre's company culture?
Calibre's culture is what you want it to be. If you're super involved and you want to continue to be involved and you're active, then we do have like a lot of happy hours. I know I do not only happy hours, but over the summers, we do a lot of intramural sports with the company. We do like softball and soccer. But then also if you're more on the reserve side or you have like a personal life, you can kind of take a back seat. You're always going to be invited. No one's going to, knock you for not coming. But it's definitely, like you show up, you can be professional, and then what you want to do in your spare time or what you want to get involved with is completely up to you and your comfort zone.
What's your favorite program here at Calibre?
I wouldn't say it's really a program, but I mean, like I said before, I do the intramurals. Me and a bunch of the other like managers and seniors that have been here for a while, we do like DC Fray and DC Sports. We do co-ed teams of softball, soccer, kickball. It's kind of what the collective bunch want to do that season. And then afterwards, probably like every other week or something like that, depending on how the games line up, we do go get drinks after. And, it's a good like morale boost during the summer when it's a little bit slower and we're all relatively in the DC area during the time. So it's kind of like one of the offbeat things that we do here at the company. But I am heavily involved with that, and I do see that a lot of people that don't normally come out and do things, they want to come out, even cheer us on. They bring snacks. It's just like a good time over the summer. Yeah, so Calibre, they give you a lot of opportunity right away. You go to a bigger company, you're going to be stuck in one area for a very long period of time. You're going to be doing either cash, you're going to be doing payables for months at a time. You're going to be doing control testing for months at a time. Whereas here at Calibre, you get a lot of change based on every client that you go to. So like I said before, I have like 20 to 30 clients. With every client comes a new area, a new way of thinking, new ideas within accounting that I have to implement within the financials. So I get to do all those items, and then after a very short amount of time, you get to take over the planning. You get to start learning things right away, and you grow immensely just because of having those opportunities put on your plate right away. So, and then with also that being said, you have the partners that you're interacting with, which doesn't really happen too often at those bigger companies. So you get to have this teaching moment with people that have been in this profession for years right away, and having that kind of in the palm of your hands, within months of being here is something that I truly valued.
Yes, I definitely say I love the people that I work with. I think it make or breaks any job you have, no matter what. Our teams are constantly changing, so we have an opportunity to work with everyone. One of the good things about Calibre is that we have, since our clients are a little bit smaller in size compared to either like an SEC or whatever a Big Four would do, we have the opportunity to work with different people, anywhere from like every week to every 2 weeks, every month. So you kind of get the opportunity to learn from a bunch of different supervisors, managers, partners. Also, because of our size, like I work with a lot of partners directly, and I don't think that you get that experience at larger firms. In terms of our culture, for a career that you don't see everyone all the time, we definitely still keep in touch a lot, and we always know what's going on with each other, which is cool. Even during this pandemic, we've been able to make it seem as if we saw each other on a daily basis or a weekly basis when we're actually in our homes. So I think we're all just pretty close, and it makes going, like, if you have a hard time, like I don't have an issue, like I'm not nervous to go up to a partner and kind of talk things out or express my ideas to anyone at any level.
I like Calibre Cares. We do work on a professional capacity with very many nonprofits and other organizations, and I think Calibre Cares is a program in which we give back to nonprofits and give back to the community. And it shows that it's not only our client base, it's not only what brings in the money, but it's also about something that we really actually do care about, is giving back to the community. And it's very cool to see the firm come together and do that.
And then lastly, how would you describe Calibre's company culture?
I would say it's a very diverse group of individuals with kind of varying level of interests, and we both, from a professional standpoint, we support and challenge one another to be the best version of himself in a professional capacity, as well as on a social standpoint. We do plenty of social events, get-togethers, happy hours, bowling, a whole variety of events to cater to everyone's kind of varying level of interests. And it really is a kind of a tight-knit community. And as the firm's grown, I think that we've really put a lot of emphasis on keeping that close-knit feel.
So my main responsibility is making sure that our audit engagements run smoothly. I'm responsible for the planning along with the manager, and then responsible for when we're actually out in the field with the client, making sure that we're getting everything that we need, corresponding with the client as need be for additional documentation needed, and then also supervising the staff on the engagements to make sure they know what's going on.
So why did you first get into public accounting?
I think the main reason I got into public accounting was after taking my accounting class at JMU, I realized that I definitely lean more towards audit than I do towards tax. And public accounting seemed like just the natural next step if you want to become an auditor. I didn't really have a plan when I came into college as to what I was going to end up doing. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I just decided to take it, and I don't think I have any major regrets so far.
What are some of the most challenging and rewarding parts of your job?
Most challenging is probably working with clients and adapting to different client types. Since we specialize in nonprofit accounting, that can range anywhere from working with like a charity to working with a benefit plan or a labor union. And so I think the hardest part has been trying to get acclimated to working with different client types and all the different services that they need us to provide. And then sometimes communicating with clients as to what exactly we need, like in terms of supporting documents for the audit can be difficult. But the most rewarding part is definitely like when you actually get the job done, you know, like when you're working on something for like hours and hours and hours you put into it, and then finally you can say like, yes, I've completed this work paper, like I've completed the audit. Like that's a really nice feeling, and it makes all the stress going into it worth it.
I think that the benefits that are appealing to interns and employees are an engaging environment, leaders and managers and human resources and support team that offers them the opportunity to learn and grow. And those are the things that we provide here at Calibre.
Can you talk about how Calibre promotes diversity and inclusion?
Diversity and inclusion is one of our key priorities. It's actually part of our value statement. The way we promote diversity and inclusion is we recruit at a number of different schools. We also, in our recruiting process, are very intentional about making sure that when we bring on new staff, we have a staff that reflects our client base and a staff that also reflects our current employee pool. Other things that we do in terms of inclusion, we participate or we host a number of engagement activities throughout the course of the year where we invite everyone in to celebrate different activities or holidays or birthdays so that everyone feels welcome. If you're a new staff at the firm, we make sure that everyone welcomes you, gives you a nice warm welcome so that you feel welcome and that you feel included right from day one at the beginning of your career.